Flame on! How's everybody doing tonight? Without further ado, let me bring my very special guest, Jared from Comics League. How you doing, buddy?
What's up? And I love how Lawrence is dropping heat right now. Did you forget to hit the stream button?
Nah, just on time. We got. What's up, Najee? By the way, I do have to DM you about my Transformers review. You'll probably hear from me, if not tonight, early tomorrow morning, depending on the time zone difference. But with that being said, we've gotten a few critiques about the Scion or New Direction verse, even though we've explained this like 50 freaking times. And what's up, Najee?
We've been very clear on it. That's the sad part. But all right, I guess a discussion of the timeline would be beneficial.
All right, give me a minute to screen share.
So basically, we're going to be taking you through the timeline of events and like rough years where this would take place if we were in charge of DC.
All right, can you see everything? I just want to know your procedure.
Hashtag hire us DC. I love that.
This took me a week straight to piece together. But yeah. But for anyone watching out there, please consider hashtag hire us DC. Get that out there.
Trend that.
But okay, so everything from post-crisis all the way to Flashpoint is going to go relatively the same. That's unchanged, including Flashpoint. None of that has changed. Eberthon, all of it. And I know this is probably in poor taste considering that the Flash movie came out, but this was probably the most ideal time for me to get this video out there, so I regret nothing.
There you go. And it's one of the best Flash stories, even though it wasn't really shown in the movie. Animated movie, yes. Live action, no.
And this is Jared's favorite era of comics.
Yes!
2011 to 2015.
New 52 Mafia, baby.
So for any classic fans out there, it's going to be a bit before we get to New Direction proper. So if you need a minute to cringe, do so now.
It's because what we have to do is establish the context around which we made New Direction.
Now, to be fair, for better or for worse, a lot of the majority of the New 52 is going to play out.
Thank you, Lawrence. Thank you, Lawrence. You're my dude. You are my dude. He said New 52 is lit.
For better or for worse. For better or for worse. But there are a few exceptions, such as this travesty. God,
this gets yanked harder than Steppenwolf's arm.
The only way to save this is to make it a Young Justice book. That is the only way to save this book. And the only reason I'm doing it is because that Bartor and this Young Justice roster is going to play a role later. Not now, but later. Oh, what's up, Taladia?
He's here?
Hold on, hold on, I gotta bring him in.
Hey.
I just woke up.
You good, man? You good?
So we're talking about our New Direction universe, which Taladi and I are both New 52 guys. So there you go.
Yeah.
But before we move on, Taladia, what did you think about the New 52 Teen Titans, Boof and Lobdell's run?
It was okay.
Yeah.
The art was superb.
I thought the art was superb, but the stories could be improved.
I'm just not a fan of the Harvest arc in general. But other than that, it wasn't.
That never led to anything. Isn't that funny?
Yeah. They could have improved on it, in my opinion.
Yeah, but basically, you're not going to get Connor Kent will be Connor Kent. Bart Allen will debut a little later, so you're still going to be stuck with Bartor, unfortunately. But other than that, a Young Justice book is an easier pill to swallow than just trying to make this the de facto Teen Titans. I think that's an easier pill to swallow. What do you guys think?
I think so.
I agree.
And just like with Batman Eternal, Batman and Robin Eternal, you will get a Teen Titans Eternal. Pretty much a modern retelling of the classic roster. And this is the closest I could find without using any copyrighted imagery from the actual comic book page. So this probably isn't my best slide. Let's move on.
I love that.
I love that gif.
I'm just gonna let this be known right now. Future's End would be strictly an Elseworld story if we had a say. I am strictly
Or-
mentioning that now.
Or just laugh whoever the hell proposed this story into like oblivion. Like, let me give you the idea of how this would go. Who was the main guy for Future's NJ Heat?
I don't even remember, honest to God. That
The
was such
point
a
is, the dude walks into our office, and and he proposes this story. Then legit, we just laugh him out of the office and say, "Get out and come back when you have a serious story."
But for all intents and purposes, there was just no saving this book. I'm sorry. I can't even put a positive spin on it. It's
Nah.
not Marvel bad, but it's pretty freaking bad.
Don't even put this in the same sentence as Marvel, J Heat.
Oh, Jesus. Now, to be fair, we got to be objective about this. This would have been roughly around the same time Young Justice would have gotten canceled.
What's up, Daniel?
A beloved TV show gets canceled. You make an in-comic storyline where they can get some closure. Easy bank.
Mm-hmm. Almost
to
like
be
the
fa-
Snyderverse.
That's debatable, Jared, but one day. But you can pretty much read everything right here. Hopefully, I got the font as decent as possible. And for all the clips and visuals I use, shout out to all the creators, draw artists, and everyone. That way, even if I forget to put them in the description, I just want to make sure everyone gets a shout out. So if you're pretty much not really caught up with Young Justice Season 2, just read this quick prop right here. And if need be, let me know in the comments, and I can just go back.
Mm-hmm.
We have to. It's relevant to Earth 2 saga. We have to.
But we don't talk
Okay.
about the Earth 2
But-
saga.
It
Yeah, we
wasn't
don't
bad. It was not
Well,
bad. But
no, but
go ahead.
Go on.
I'm just saying, in the context of New Direction, we haven't talked about Earth 2, so why are we keeping this travesty?
I know.
Because technically, this New Direction replaces DCYOU, which is my next slide in a minute. And hey, we got to make compromises with editorial, but we are going to alter the ending. So
Okay, what would you alter the ending to?
John Kent is never born. I'm only kidding, Tevye.
Yeah.
but let's just say a crisis of the gods is in order. Jared knows what I'm talking
Yes.
about.
Oh boy. This is awesome.
This was not an easy slide to make. Do you know how hard it is to go through Superman, Batman, Apocalypse to get visual prompts for this without going to the more sleazier side of his art style? This was not an easy slide to make.
Mm-hmm.
hmm
And that's why I mentioned the altered ending. Some of this is going to be talked about when we actually discuss these topics on the channel. So if I sound vague, that's on purpose.
Okay.
And yes, this is going to be around the same time as Darkseid War, hence why this is a Justice League book.
Daniel says, my heaven is to see new 52 stories with Mike Deodato Jr. art. Yes. Oh, hell yes.
He can pull it off. Not going to lie. He does
I want
good work.
him on art and Jonathan Hickman on story. That would be a dream team.
Okay, if we actually did have a say in this for pretty much this roster of the Justice League while Darkseid War is going on, what creative team would you put on it?
On this one, okay, then not Hickman because he has to do the actual Justice League. Probably give it to Jurgens.
I
He does
agree. Give it to Dan Jurgens and make Jim Lee do the artwork.
Jim Lee on art. Nice.
There you go.
I had to.
Oh no.
It's a cheap gag, but Darkseid War was being published during this time, so it's still relevant.
Yeah.
We're not
by the way, I mentioned John Kent, and look who shows up.
Wow.
What's up, Tevia?
I swear this is not coordinated or planned. What's up, Tevia?
But Tevia, you're in for a treat a couple slides from now. You're in for a treat, buddy.
But yes, New Direction versus the DCU is, yes, exactly. This is the time I agree with Tevia, was a train wreck. This is the time when someone comes in to propose it to our office and we kick them out of the office.
Now, if these are popular titles, okay, Elseworld, relatively self-contained by all means. but a lot of the DCYU slate was just bad.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it. Depowered Superman. Excuse me.
Whatever the hell Pierre J. Tomasi was doing with Superman and Wonder Woman.
We don't mention that. We do not mention.
Nope, we
the
do not talk
depowered
about that.
Superman.
But
No, actually, we have to talk about Super Wonder in this, Taladia, because it's kind of important. And by the way, Tevye,
Yeah, well-
thank you.
Well, that I can let go because that's legit.
Thank you.
Super Wonder. I mean,
Thank you.
that's a Freudian slip. Oh man, Jared's not gonna let you live that one down.
Somebody loves Super Wonder.
Oh, Talani, you need a minute?
yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Give me a minute.
Please make sure nobody clips that.
Wonder Bat does not happen in this universe. So there you go.
There is
They
one
call-
Elseworld story. I just haven't thought of it yet. There is an Elseworld story. I just hadn't thought of it yet.
And Tevye,
But,
the death of New 52 Superman was just their DC trying to completely undo everything New 52, thus screwing over the massive influx of fans they got because of the New 52, ignoring the fact that they could have kept both Supermen, hence the New Direction verse.
Oh, it could have been.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of Wonder Woman, let's just say
Yes.
now Jared has been looking forward to this storyline the most. And we actually did a video on this one, but making a deal with Hera is not exactly a good idea.
Mm-hmm. I love Daniel's comment. We are Super Wonder fans. Resistance is futile. Someone's a Star Trek fan, and I appreciate that one.
And now this one's going to need a little bit of context. In a brief filler issue or like self-contained mini arc of Action Comics, after New 52 Kal-El comes back, he does pick a fight with Clark Kent for the Superman mantle. And he gets humbled pretty quickly. Jared, I know you're a New 52 fan, but he's not beating classic Superman.
No, I 100% agree with that. And by the way, Tevye, assimilate this. I think we started a war in the chat.
Oh, no. We haven't even gotten started yet.
Oh, trust me, there's so much left.
This is gonna be fun. Oh man. But okay. Basically, this is where the idea of Scion is born. He rebrands himself, he dons the black and white costume, and Scion Explained is another video you can watch on my channel. I will leave the link in the description below.
There you go.
Now this one might get
Oh
us.
God.
Okay.
Oh no.
Okay. Come on. We got to get the first
Why?
one. We get the
Why
second one.
Kratos? Like, why Kratos?
First of all, DC did publish and license tie-in comics for God of War anyway. So this would have been around the time those comics would have come out. So you pay a little extra in the licensing fee, call the character by a different name. And this was really the best interpretation I could get without resorting to any generic ripoff or fan art. So this was really the best I could do. And it's video game synergy. And Sony does like video game synergy. If Marvel won't do it, DC will. Or at least we will.
Fine, I'll do it myself if I put on the gauntlet.
Okay, what's the best way I could sum up the story? We've already done a video on it, but what's the best way I could sum up the story? Wonder Woman makes a deal with Hera. Hera leads God, I almost said it, God, hopefully I don't get sued, leads God Killer astray after Zeus flees to Earth. Wonder Woman gets godlike powers, and pretty much imagine God of War 3 Kratos, but invading Earth, but ravaging all of Los Angeles just to kill Zeus.
Yeah.
Oh man. Now this one I'm gonna get some heat for.
Oh boy.
After the backup story, Convergence, Matrix, Supergirl, while Luthor with Darkseid War and how the League become gods, she essentially liberates the planet while Darkseid is quote unquote dead. Darkseid eventually comes back with Grail by his side. Corrupted Omega Sanctioned Kara tries to pick a fight with Darkseid. Oh man, but we do the video on this one.
This is gonna be fun.
Let's just say Kara does not have a good day. Now, Jared, you're gonna love this one. Should you explain it or should I?
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh,
Oh, by the way, Tony Gunk, mother is calling. Oh God.
Why?
Why did
Like,
you? All right. So in this one, mythologically accurate Thor shows up, and for those of you that don't know, mythologically accurate Thor is significantly more powerful than MCU Thor, and he
public
fights.
domain.
He fights the Justice League and completely slaughters them. Like he tears Wonder Woman's arm off, rips Hawkgirl's wings off.
so
beats-
basically, Darkseid, what's it called? Justice League Apocalypse.
It's
War.
pretty much the first 5 minutes of Justice League Dark Apocalypse War, and then pre new 52 Superman dies in this battle.
Well, way to spoil the next few slides, Jared.
You tell me to talk about this.
Yeah, but I hadn't covered the actual story. This was the prelude to it.
Well,
But yeah, let's just keep going. The show must go on, I suppose. And then we'll pretty much get a comics version of the Cadmus arc. Jared, you want to take over? Taladia, you're welcome to cringe.
yay! All right. So at this point, since he doesn't, John Kent would kill Thor. No,
No.
dude. A
No,
pure Kryptonian couldn't kill Thor.
What's John Kent gonna do?
Wait. John Kent is only half Kryptonian, so there's a little dilution in the DNA. Clark Kent, Superman, pre-crisis, the more experienced Superman, is full-on Kryptonian and got trounced by God of War. I get that you like this character, Tevia, but you gotta be realistic on who he would actually be. John Kent is not One Punch Man. Anyway, with this, so at the final battle, after the final battle, Superman and Wonder Woman decide to tie the knot because this is what they were building toward. Actually, in the Choel Sewell Superman Wonder Woman series, they were eventually going to get to that point, and Donna Troy would be the daughter of Superman and Wonder Woman. But it doesn't exactly work in this universe. But there are other things. He would try and kill Thor and not one. He would try to kill Thor, but he would get his ass kicked, dude. I got news for you. He would get trounced. I mean, I love how he says, full disclosure, this is Jared from Comics League's plot line. He had a field day mapping this out together. Yes, thank you. I appreciate being called out. But this signals the transition from the new 52 era to Rebirth. And by the way, since post-crisis Superman is dead, Scion or young
let's just
Clark,
call him Scion. Let's just call him Scion.
yes,
Yeah,
Scion reassumes the mantle of Superman because on his dying breath, Clark goes, "You're ready."
And like I said, do you know how hard it is to get a picture of Dr. Manhattan that isn't him indisposed? Like, it's almost freaking impossible. Jesus Christ. It was either this or that god-awful live-action show on HBO. With that being said, now this could easily go into early 2017, but I kept the original publication year just to be safe. This is the return of Wally West, and this is where it starts to get a little fun. Jared, do you remember this one?
Oh yeah, I love this one. You wanna to talk about this one?
Basically, to make it a long story short, Wally finds out that Barry created Flashpoint, and that's why Linda doesn't remember him, and his kids are time displaced. And I do so. Okay, it's not similar to Flash War. Flash War, as it says right here in the prompt, was basically breaking the Speed Force and unleashing the forces, and their subpar adaptation on CW Flash. But we don't talk about that. But you still had the conflict between Barry versus Wally. And we actually did a video on this where you can go a little into a bit more depth. But let's just say Wally and Barry aren't exactly on good terms. If you want more detail, look at the video. And I've already made my points clear right here with Teen Titans. I'll give you a chance to read right here. And again, I'm only using the up to issue 20, like right before Justice League No Justice. And full disclaimer, to those who actually are fans of the Adam Glass run, the reason I am omitting it from the New Direction verse is not solely because of 5G, even though that's a factor.
No, it's because it was just crappy. That's why.
True, but even if I did keep Gen War and Heretics Return, I would have to completely overhaul the entire book. And the last time I attempted that, on a video, I end up talking to Tevia and Pika Shades for 4 hours.
So you essentially had the length of the Snyder Cut. That's not bad.
God, Jared, how many times have you watched the Snyder Cut? Jesus Christ!
Now 13. I have to make it an even 14. It's this Saturday.
And like an invasion, Beast Boy, and again, because we don't have the Adam Glass run, Beast Boy gets to lead a team. If this is similar to Young Justice Season 3 Outsiders, that's basically the premise, not gonna lie. God, so many synergy titles in New Direction for some reason. Almost as if I'm printing money.
Almost as if it's a good idea.
Oh God, hashtag hire this DC needs to be trending because Jesus Christ. But I feel bad for making this one. I really do. I really do. Taladia, everyone, I just want you to understand. This is regardless of New 52 or Rebirth. This is Billy Batson versus a mythologically accurate Thor.
Yeah,
not Marvel Thor.
No.
Mythology accurate Thor. Marvel Thor might, throw a few love taps and like, oh, you are strong and have potential, young man. In the mythology, this is a curb stomp.
This is essentially Superman versus Steppenwolf in the Snyder Cut levels. But Tevia asks, wait, there's a new 52. I think he said there was a new 52 Young Justice series.
No, we're replacing New 52 Teen Titans and turning it into a Young Justice book.
Yeah. That's what we're trying to. The idea here is to improve DC.
Unlike some people on the editorial staff. Excuse me.
Oh, by the way, I feel like this needs to be said. The other part of the New Direction verse is actually in the editorial stage. We don't hire Bendis or anyone associated with Bendis.
And if you've actually seen Bendis Point, you realize that a lot of quality control is implemented without Bendis.
Like Aquaman. So anyway, God Killer 2, Gods Among Us.
Which Jared had almost explicably spoiled.
Same, but the point is, it still happens.
It still happens. It still happens. Not gonna lie. And okay, say what you will about power scaling, but as you've seen our video from Hera's Reckoning, Wonder Woman removes or disowns Zeus's powers and is pretty much just regular Wonder Woman again. So she can't call upon the power of the Pantheon against Thor. She does not have that ability anymore. With that being said, because I know there's going to be a misconception in the comments, you have the main Justice League. You have Justice League. You have essentially New Direction Justice League United, which was JLA and JL Canada. But basically, all these superhero teams coming together, even with the expansion after Cadmus, and Thor just demolishes all of them. Okay, the best way I could describe this.
Here's the way to describe this. Remember in Infinite Crisis when Superboy Prime versed like every superhero and was ripping arms off? It's like that. Only more Black Label.
And with a giant hammer.
And with a giant hammer. Yes, people's faces are being... This is definitely going to be a Black Label in continuity book.
I'm just thinking about every time we're me and Jared, and yes, we do have a thumbnail made. We are going to make a discussion video about this. But as we were pitching ideas to each other, like, could we even get away with this editorial wise?
Nope. And we're both like, nope, no way. Unless we were like the heads of DC, there's no way we could get away with this. The fan base would love us, but no.
No, this would have to be a Black Label book. There's no way we could keep this 13 plus. It's just
basically like the animated Injustice movie. No, the animated Injustice movie would look like something on PBS compared to what we have planned.
Taladia, what do you think?
Taladia.
Are you still there?
He's probably gone.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, it gets brutal. And there you go. This is our homage. The other reason why we do this is to homage the death of Superman funeral for a friend moment.
Pretty much. And there are going to be a few tie-ins to event. Now, I'm only
Mhm.
going to add a brief two-parter in terms of the timeline video itself, because this could easily be crapped out into a bunch of tie-ins, because it's just every superhero you know getting their butt kicked against Thor.
But to Taladia, if you're talking, you are muted, so remember that.
I'll give Taladia a minute to turn his speaker back on.
All right, it's all
Now
good.
hello? Oh, this is where it gets a little dicey. Remember in New 52 where they pretty much established there was no rejuvenation cycle or power matrix?
Mm-hmm.
Well, go ahead.
I think we decide we keep that part because old Superman is not coming back.
He's not. But the next, okay, if you've read Tales of the Dark Multiverse, you know where this is going.
Oh boy.
Okay, so the Eradicator has a special. Okay, it's basically an alien. Imagine the symbiote from Spider-Man, but it's basically he has a specific bioorganic suit that allows him to manifest physically. Because again, the Eradicator is just an AI or artificial computer. So he gives that suit to pre-New 52 Lois Lane, as a favor to pretty much, help save people, stop Thor, whatnot. But Lois is so hell-bent on revenge, she's immediately corrupted by the power and goes on a war path. And
wait, this is post-crisis Lois?
Post-crisis Lois.
Oh, no. Oh, no. I really don't want our Lois Lane to turn to Eradicator. It's not our Lois Lane. Our Lois Lane in this point in the universe, because we're in the New 52 universe, is the New 52 Lois Lane.
Basically, Superman Reborn, where they get merged together, doesn't happen.
Yeah, because that was a dumbass idea. You could have kept both, but no! As you can tell, I am still salty. I may just do a video that's just me ranting about that era of DC.
If you think that's bad, wait till we get to Bendis' Superman. Jesus.
Oh,
Christ.
no! I just want to snap my fingers and make that entire era just go away. But nobody liked New 52 Lois Lane. I did.
To be fair, she was a little spunky.
Wait. You don't understand the significance of what I just said. I liked the New 52 Lois Lane.
Blasphemy!
Because she wasn't with Superman. That's why I came up with my theory. Have her exist, but not married to Superman. You get better stories.
Okay. And expectation and novelty aside, that is the most petty reason to defend.
And by the way, Tevia, I didn't say we were getting rid of pre-New 52 Lois. I never said that.
No, she just dons the Eradicator suit and goes apeshit on Thor. We never said she dies.
No. But again,
basically,
remember that. You can clip this out. I like the New 52 Lois more.
Well, you've heard history in the making. Jared from Comics League officially likes one version of Lois Lane.
No. We can't do that because why would New 52 become eradicated? There's no reason to get payback on Thor. Literally no reason. The reason why we're doing the post-crisis Lois is because she wants payback for Thor killing her husband, which actually is pretty much the plot of Tales of the Dark Multiverse right there.
Pretty much. We're just replacing Doomsday with Thor. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. And then Daniel, I liked Lois Lane very far from Superman. My man.
Now, Batavia, if it does feel better, you do get a 2-part tie-in issue. And this is just part 1. Basically, Damian puts a resistance team together because by this point, Loki's been captured by the Suicide Squad. A certain android from Green Lantern, the animated series, is captured. And, Loki pretty much takes over. Basically, the government scene where Loki takes over Hawkeye and a few other agents in Avengers 1. That's basically what Loki does here.
Mm-hmm. And Tevia, I'm not saying the exact plot of New 52 of Tales of Dark Multiverse happens. I'm just saying the whole idea of Lois Lane becoming Superwoman to get revenge. That part is in there.
She dons the Eradicator suit. She's corrupted by the suit. She picks a fight with Thor, and then Superwoman, Lana Lang, mind you, ultimately has to save her. Lois keeps trying to fight back. She has a mental breakdown, and we'll save the rest for the discussion itself. We'll save the rest.
Save all your judgments until we get to that point.
But Tevi, at least you're getting a 2-part one-shot tie-in issue out of it.
Yes. Oh, by the way, Tevye, you'll like this. In the New Direction verse, the age up does not happen. We tell if Bendis comes in and says, "Oh, this is really important to my story," I say tough.
And really, if you want to tell a new generation Superman story, just use Connor Kent. Either use Connor Kent or make it an Elseworld story. If you can't meet that, no deal.
Sorry, dude.
But I just imagine like Damian and Atreus just constantly going back and forth the entire issue.
Oh gosh, that'd be great.
You're just a slightly angstier version of me. You just happen to have superpowers. Just piss off.
I love Damian.
He's a smartass, but a beloved smartass.
It takes a second because I was reading his Batman and Son, and yeah, he doesn't get the best introduction.
But that was a prelude to a much larger story. Once you get the full trade of Grant Morrison's run and you read everything at once, it's a lot better.
I have the Omni. It's way better.
And how do you feel about Atreus, the Super Sons, Nobody in Beacon, and an old post-crisis favorite, Colin Wilkes, taking on Jormungandr? God, the World Serpent.
But dude, by the way, I like that title, Playing God, but you could also do Super Sons God of War.
Even with the licensing synergy for God of War 4 and Ragnarok, I don't want to risk copyright. So this was a safe title. This was
yeah. It still works. It still communicates it. But yeah, I dig that.
But then yes, imagine someone like Aquaman, an Atlantean, taking on a thunder god. What do you think is gonna happen?
And by the way, the Aquaman appearance is good. It's the rebirth, long hair, beard, tattooed Aquaman. We're making him look as much like Momoa as possible, since that's the cool version of Aquaman.
And of synergy. And
to be clear, in the New Direction verse, Mera does not actually poop the bed.
You've been holding that one in, haven't you?
Yes, I've been waiting for that one.
God damn it.
I have to say that because people are going to ask that because synergy.
Oh, but okay, Aquaman is essentially in a coma. Mera takes up the throne, but because technically her and Mera hadn't gotten married yet officially, because Mera was still going through the trials in the Apernet run at the time, Orm has just as much claim. So it's kind of like a power struggle. This miniseries is kind of like a power struggle between Mera and Orm. And who knows? Orm might be the pawn of a larger evil from another mythology.
So you could say it's like dan 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 dan.
And we just did this one like last week.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, after Joker took a recent caper in Metropolis involving actual New 52 Lois Lane, mind you, Batman does the unthinkable.
That's just not unthinkable because Batman kills the Joker.
But does he really kill the Joker, or was he compelled to? You got to watch the video to find out.
Yes, he could have been compelled to. Still happens.
But this is just as much of a Gordon and GCPD story as it is a Batman story. I want to make that perfectly clear.
I think we would do like a Gotham Central crime story with like all the cops. I think that'd be really cool to have in there.
Oh, and in case you guys are concerned about some of the good titles that came out during DCYOU, Endgame and Bunny Bat kind of happens, but is relatively self-contained, and that's before New Direction even.
The Bunny Bat thing, I don't think should happen at all because that made no sense.
Again, Batman was out of commission. Gordon ends up.
Then have Nightwing take over as Batman. Homage the Morrison run.
Okay. That's a discussion video for a later day, but I'll keep that in mind. That's a great idea.
We should do that. But Scott Snyder stays on Batman. That's the creative team that stays because he is doing fantastic work.
Now, the only reason I'm covering
Ooh.
Flashborn, Heroes in Crisis at the same time is because I know someone's going to mention Heroes in Crisis in the comments.
And Tevia, the setup for Endgame was in DCU.
Technically, so we kind of have to use some of it.
Problem: Nightwing was a super spy, not in our universe.
Yeah, Agent 37 does not happen.
Yeah, which means that the identity reveal in Forever Evil does not happen as well.
Or we just quickly retcon it and move on.
Yeah, because this is DC. They retcon stuff all the time. But,
retcons among retcons among retcons.
Yeah.
But back to the main topic. You could really go this one of two ways. One, you could actually go full flash forward, have Wally and Linda get back together, and then Artemis goes into character limbo. Or or as the prompt says here, I'll give people a second to fully read it before I go into deeper. Let's just say there is more than just Savitar trying to break the dimensional barrier that causes Wally's lapse in judgment.
All right, can I say I love Tevia's new term, retcon inception.
Retconception?
Retconception?
We'll work on that.
Either way, it's a great term, Tevia. I appreciate that. And Heroes in Crisis, if you read it in a vacuum, is actually pretty cool.
In a vacuum.
In a vacuum. Ignore the Wally West stuff. Pretty cool.
Though, to be fair, they were trying to prop up, again, a lot of that was 5G setup and to prop up non-binary Flash, while Wally, you might as well just killed Wally off considering what they were doing to him.
But hey. Remember, since I'm going to spoil it a little bit, 5G is in no way considered or happening. So a lot of these stories are not going to look the same as they did back then because they don't have to set up 5G.
There you go. And yes, Batman does briefly work with Waller for killing the Joker. It's a commission thing. It's part of a miniseries. It gets wrapped up when all's said and done.
Yes, because after he kills the Joker, Bruce Wayne takes a hiatus from being Batman. And I think we did say Grayson takes over as Batman, right?
If we're factoring Endgame and replacing the Gordon in the bunny suit with Nightwing taking over the cowl, yes.
Yeah, so essentially he takes over as Batman, and then Bruce Wayne temporarily is basically the amalgam Bruce Wayne Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. kind of.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, crap. Okay.
Oh, okay. No, Tim Drake becomes Batman. Okay.
Tim Drake becomes Batman. My mistake.
I knew it was one of the Robins we said takes over.
Yeah. Tim Drake may be the logical choice because of his he's objectively one of the best Robins in terms of being a good support, detective work, witty, able to adapt to most situations.
But is he the best fighter? I don't think he's the best.
No,
fighter.
He is not the best fighter. I would argue Stephanie Brown is a better fighter than Tim Drake when it comes to hand. I would easily make that argument. Mm-hmm. But and I do throw a little dig here where Red Robin was just an angsty and spiteful rebranding.
That was his teenage rebellion.
Come on, it's literally just canonizing the Kingdom Come suit. Like no thought was put into it at all. It was a good run, though. It was a good run. Mm-hmm. But in context,
mm-hmm.
I mean, come on.
Barry, the poop suit does not happen.
Oh no.
This, the next slide. This was some of my most fun we ever had. Najee Pearl have a panel. Yep. So, new direction, Green Lantern.
Basically, Simon Baz and Jessica Cruz help uncover what Thor was trying to do on his attack on Earth. Well, what Loki was trying to do. Thor was just pursuing after him. And a lot of Green Lantern animated series synergy. Yeah, do you know how hard it is to get a good image of Razor without using Young Justice? It's almost impossible. And let it be known.
You could have just picked the Red Lantern one from the animated series.
Yeah, but the CG model, it just would have.
True, but the point, and a certain child gets a lantern ring. This was my idea, by the way.
Yeah, full credit goes to Jared on this one. But yeah, if you want to know more detail, check out New Direction Green Lantern. It's already up on the channel.
I'll give you a hint, though. It's a super wonderful lantern.
You're going to have to work on that.
I had to pull a Nick on that.
And, of course, while Arthur Curry's in a coma. Now, even though it does technically set up future state, I have nothing against Andy Curry because she's still a little girl. There's potential. I think she's a baby in that run for the prior.
Yeah, she was the oldest she was in Future State.
Yeah, I think she was still a baby in the main book. But
which, by the way, Future State happens, but it's a strict Elseworlds book because a lot of that stuff was really cool.
Yeah, it should have gone farther than 2 issues, but yeah.
A lot of it does, but it's a complete Elseworlds. By the way, that could be a good idea for New Direction Future State.
I would have to actually I kind of cringe when I first dragged through those 2 months.
Here's the thing: I haven't read anything Future State except for the first issue of Yara Floor.
Have a bucket next to you going in because it's going to be a wild ride from beginning to end.
Yeah. So move on.
And I'm just going to call it Totality War, even if
pretty much.
Yeah, Totality War. And that you have both the Justice League.
Except I would not bring in the ultraviolet lanterns. I would be like, nope, we have enough lantern cores. Play with what you have.
Because even prior to Death Metal, if you go from Totality War straight to Death Metal, it's a pretty solid transition. You just have to cut back the Batman Who Laughs stuff just a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, 100%. He's not showing up in everything.
He's not showing up in everything, but he will be part of the main book when we get the Death Metal, because we still got to compromise with editorial at the end of the day. This wasn't necessary evil.
Yeah, 100%.
And Phoenix is gonna love this one.
Except is she with Grayson?
Okay. The best way I could describe this is imagine if Batcat tied the knot, but they still had to put up with Talia because of Damian.
Okay.
So basically, New Titans was basically a part, the Wolfman run were pretty much just before Crisis. Richard, I can't say his nickname because I'll get bots. Richard pretty much is a political marriage. This was adapted in Teen Titans 03. Rick ends up calling off the relationship over it. But what he doesn't know, at least the way we're going to do it in continuity.
By the way, I think it's hilarious how you use the Rick Grayson name.
I said Richard, not Rick.
I said Rick.
Comment, did I say Richard or Rick?
In that case, I don't want to hear anything about my Freudian slips because you both have had a lot this stream.
Hey, I'm actually planning a Rick Grayson retrospective, so mine's actually contextual.
And by the way, I will go back at the end of the stream and rewatch it to check. Yes, Tevi is right. Tevi, you said Rick.
God damn it.
Yep. So I don't want to hear anything about my Freudian slip anymore, boys.
Fine, I'm only doing this one time. My name's not Rick. That's the only time you're going to hear that. But yeah, You're the Villain gets severely undercut, and we just go straight to Death Metal because that's just a compromise with editorial. And You're the Villain was completely lackluster. It was just pure tie-in and set up to 5G. You're the Villain itself did not go anywhere. Mm-hmm. Event Leviathan, out. Bendis Superman, out.
Yep, 100%. That's done. Leviathan, out.
And the only reason I added this one is because I'm literally planning a video about Titans Academy working better as an anthology. That's the only reason this is in here.
Yeah, Infinite Frontier. That's going to have to get a huge overhaul since that was a travesty.
Jesus.
So much of DC went wrong during that time period.
They had nothing else. They were just desperately trying to make the whatever scraps from 5G work. Dido had already left DC by this point. It was kind of a clusterfuck, not going to lie.
Well, also, here's the other issue, though, because they screwed the fans over when it came to Death Metal, because if you look at the original outline for Death Metal, it was like the book, a couple of tie-ins. No,
it was not. No, it was not. But there are more titles to come. There are going to be more conversations. But this was a good outline starting now. Naomi must go away. Okay. Naomi is self-contained enough to where you could just put her on either Elseworlds or on Beast Boy's Outsiders team. Mm-hmm. Just throw her somewhere.
And Tevia, yeah, I do agree. Jeremy Adams' Flash was the only good book from that. Yep, I'm fine with that.
So So yeah, that's the full timeline. If anyone
Oh.
wants to have any critiques or
One more
or
thing.
feedback.
So you know how like in the Batcave, Batman has like the suits in cases of all the different Robins and stuff.
Right.
In Clark's Fortress, the new 52 Clark's Fortress, I think it would be cool to have like a what's the word, like a little case that has that has post crisis Clark's costume as like a memorial.
I can see that.
So he could always like see that and remind himself to be a better Superman.
Oh crap! I forgot. Oh, shit.
What?
I forgot to make a slide about basically a one shot of Scion memorial grief mourning for Clark.
Well, let's do that right now. We can do that. So we have the suit, and they could do like Kara comes and they do a traditional Kryptonian funeral.
Yeah, because you still have the main Supergirl, even though Convergence Matrix Supergirl's on Apocalypse, but that's a separate conversation.
That never happens. But and then you could have like Wonder Woman does a traditional like funeral pyre thing. Oh yeah, Tavia, the way we did it is that new 52 Clark is basically an older brother to John.
So imagine Clark and Connor, but reverse.
Yeah, essentially.
And does John go through an angsty teen phase after his dad dies? Does he start lashing out?
But by the way, real quick, Tom Taylor's whole run on John does not happen. So Jane Nakamura is not a DC character in our universe.
Yeah, we really had to bring that up. But okay, maybe not so much in the way he was using the Tom Taylor book, but I could definitely see Jay Nakamura just being a one-off villain.
Yeah, he's a villain. He's 100% a villain.
Every bit. Did I do enough? Back then, with my parents dying on prom night, Clark taking my head literally out of the gutter of my own cape. All I did was screw up. Hell, even against Thor, Lois literally had to turn herself insane with the Eradicator armor just to clean up my mess. I should have just gave up Loki the moment Thor asked. It was a fool's errand trying to fight him. He's dead because of me. That's how Scion would feel for most of this issue.
Yeah. And Tavia asks, speaking of Convergence, this reminds me, what happens with the Parallax Green Lantern?
Actually, that will play a role in Godkiller 3.
Yes. We can also add Jeremy Quantum as well with John Kent going up against Jay Nakamura. Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah. Wait, Jeremy Quantum. Oh, from the Challenge of the wait, was it Challenge of the Super Sons?
I don't know. I've never read any Super Sons
I know it's from one of the
process.
Super Sons. I know it's from one of the Super Sons book. I just can't remember which one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I can see Jay Nakamura being
Jenny Quantum.
Oh, from okay. You Wildstorm. I could see that because with the Authority. Oh, and that kind of reminds me of World War Saga.
Okay, so let me do this. Let me tease it because this is going to be a future New Direction video. So Superman and Wonder Woman decide in light of everything they should go on a second honeymoon. So they go to War World to fight this is Wonder Woman's idea of a honeymoon, going and fighting in the gladiatorial pits of War World.
Because Mongols tyranny across the galaxy would still be known. They were already planning a honeymoon anyway. Hey, let's go save an entire planet.
And they bring to save them all the will murder you warriors of the DC universe, like the Hawks. They can bring the Authority with them. So essentially, this is the War World Saga. And so imagine War World Saga, except it has Wonder Woman and the Hawks. By Hawks, I mean Hawkman and Hawkgirl.
And who do they find captured and bound on War World? A reincarnated Thor. Round 2, baby.
Oh boy. And then Wonder Woman's like, and then Scion's like, oh, I've been waiting for this. His eyes glow red with heat vision.
He's bound and depowered. He can barely defend himself.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention, it was your ego that escalated that conflict. And this is Martian Manhunter saying this, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Picking a fight with him in this weakened state won't change what happened, let alone bring Clark back.
Hey, what's up, David? And then Clark is like, no, but it'll be fun.
And it'll make me feel better. Besides, in most lifetimes, incarnations, he's a prick anyway.
And wait, he holds his hair out. He holds the head up by his hair, and he's like, "Honey, would you care to do the honors?"
As tempting as that may be, we need to actually set an example if we're going to free.
I love your impression of Wonder Woman. The stereotypical teenage girl is your Wonder Woman.
No, come on. You have to admit, that's a pretty solid impression.
Yeah, your Amanda Waller is so much better, but jeez.
God damn it.
Oh my gosh.
I should be a voice actor. Hire us.
You could do it. You could do it. We're going to do like audio comics later on the channel, so we'll do that.
Oh, man. I mean, could you imagine New Direction verse as an audio comic? What's up, King of Nerds?
Oh, dude. That's actually a good idea. We write these scripts for episodes and then just audio act them. Would you guys be interested in that?
Please let us know in the comments. Let us know in the comments.
Because we have thumbnails for years. Jay Heath's
I like
a very industrious thumbnail maker.
I like to play it ahead. Not gonna lie. I like to play it ahead.
You're like Batman. And then Daniel goes, I picture Dr. Psycho seeing the future and he sees Superman and Wonder Woman, children being the real new gods. That's actually really cool. So he calls all the major supervillains of the galaxy to stop Superman and Wonder Woman. That actually is not a bad idea.
And can we please give Dr. Psycho more characterization than his Silver Age counterpart, where he's literally just a misogynistic douchebag for a couple of pages?
He's the pervert that's like trying to sleep with everyone.
Huh. I did not know that. I really need to go back and
read the Greg Rucka run for Wonder Woman post-crisis.
Yeah.
That's what he is.
To be fair, I read that run when I was a kid, so a lot of the subtext I did not get. But looking back...
But Ted would be interested in that. So, Jay Heat, we may have to get a voice cast together.
Hey, I'm welcome to auditions. Are you, Jared?
Oh, hell yeah. Let's do it.
But wait, what happened?
I'm playing Scion.
Called it immediately.
I'm calling Scion. Who wants to be my Wonder Woman?
Not me. Nope. Maybe Nyx. Maybe Nyx or Snyder Queen, but no.
Yeah. I don't think Wonder Woman. I don't think Snyder Queen would want to play as the version of Wonder Woman that glorifies Super Wonder. Let's put it that way.
I might get her as a separate voice cast for the Wonder Bat Elseworld.
There is no Wonder Bat Elseworlds.
We're still negotiating that. Do not take that as fact.
There is no Wonder Bat Elseworlds. Give me this one thing.
Oh God! Tell me, do you really? Okay, you're welcome to audition for John Kent, but in your audition, you got to do young John Kent and teenager John Kent.
You have to do both because there may be age up later on in the New Direction. I'm only kidding.
That was a joke. That was a joke.
Maybe Rogol Zar. No, I'm only kidding. I can't complete that sentence.
No,
Chavi's like, damn it.
It was a joke, Tev.
It was a joke. We're good, Tev.
But I really think Queen of Apocalypse could work, as a solid mini arc.
Dude.
Oh, wait, he's going on a rant right now.
Dude. Jay Heat. Grail becomes the Queen of Apocalypse.
I could see that.
Dude.
But she's with Darkseid as a baby as he's killing the gods to get his powers back.
And she's like, she's the mastermind behind it the entire time.
Where are you going with this, Jared? Because if you're thinking what I'm thinking.
She dethrones Darkseid.
I can see it too.
Thank you, thank you, Taladia, and welcome back.
Yeah, so yeah, I just had to take care of something. It was
so good.
Yeah.
It's all good, but yeah. So Grail at the last second she kills Darkseid again, and then reabsorbs his power and becomes like God Grail.
We got to work on that name.
Well, yes, it's a work in progress, but that's the concept.
To an extent, she was a mastermind in Darkseid War, but that was more of a...
Was she really?
She was more of a co-conspirator.
Yeah, the Anti-Monitor was really the mastermind.
But this was, oh God, we hadn't really, okay, we covered Wonder Woman. even after Batman gets framed for ending the Joker, even though no jury in the
Well,
land.
it's not framed because he did it.
Technically, okay. If you haven't already seen the video, this is your spoiler warning. I'm going to give you
4, 3, 2, 1, go.
He's mind controlled by Poison Ivy.
Mm-hmm. Although here's the thing, though. Now he's mind controlled by Poison Ivy. But we do establish that this version of Batman he's not going to use killing as a first resort, but he's not opposed to it.
He's at least more open-minded about it in the most severe of circumstances.
Yeah, because he's like, let me put it this way. The reason why he doesn't go into a deep depression about killing the Joker, because it's the Joker. He's like, I'm not going to lose sleep over the Joker getting killed. And I would love if Jason Todd shows up. He goes, about damn time.
And let's just say Joker has a little contingency plan.
Joker has his own contingency plans, which when you say that sentence out loud, it actually is terrifying.
He does. Now, but Sid, when was the last time we actually had a storyline with James Gordon Jr.?
I don't know. Did we?
Because remember, if you watch back at the video, we revealed that Joker Tim Drake James Jr. His own little JJ. Oh, come on. I can't make it more obvious.
Just to think of it like, remember in the New 52 when you had Joker's daughter, only it's better. And by Taladia, that's your reference to Gotham Knights. Just want to put that in there.
God damn it, Jared.
That silence is all I need. That silence is all I need.
That's just cruel and unusual punishment.
Oh, trust me, Jay Heat, I'm coming for you. I'm going to find something that will get you.
I've seen a lot of bad comics, but you're welcome to try.
See, the thing is that new comics are coming out, and since DC doesn't seem like changing, there's no shortage of bad stuff coming out. I blocked Joker's daughter from my mind, and this is your reminder that she exists. I'm such an a-hole. Sorry.
But what happens to Lois after she goes insane for the Eradicator suit? Because she does survive, barely.
She does survive. She just goes back to the Kent farm and just stays there because she's like so traumatized. She needs to deplug from everything. That's the way I could see it, at least.
You sure we don't throw her in Sanctuary?
Actually, that's a better idea. We throw her in Sanctuary. By the way, Sanctuary does not go crazy. So let me be clear on that. That part of Heroes in Crisis does not happen.
Come on, I gave you a perfect out, Jared. But I appreciate the sentiment.
and then what actually happens is, trust me, I've thought of many ways to kill off Lois Lane.
Okay. Since we already teased in the side,
do you want to hear one?
Go ahead.
What we could essentially have is essentially Heroes in Crisis does happen the exact same way it does, but Lois Lane is the only one that's killed because she's the only one that goes outside. Everyone's like, it's a drill.
Or in an attempt to stop Wally's mental breakdown, whilst she dons the Eradicator suit one last time and tries to absorb the feedback.
And wait, and she turns to salt like the New 52 Superman did when he, air quotes, died.
The only difference is, well, I can't say John wouldn't attempt it.
But he can't because it's like he can't, though.
To be fair, there is access to Olympus from Earth. John just only needs to know where it is.
Mm-hmm.
And he is trying to bring back his mom.
But it doesn't work because in our universe, death means something.
Like John, okay, if I had to make a story out of that, I feel like in the end, Damian would try to talk him out of it. Like, dude, your mom died a hero. There was something going on with the Speed Force. Wally lost control, and she died trying to save everyone there.
Mm-hmm.
Those who are unnaturally brought back, they don't come back the same. Do you really want to put your mother through that? And no, maybe as a good Elseworld story.
Yes, and Tevia, yeah, he will, because it'd be a good character development. How does he handle the death of his parents? if you think John Kent is this great character, he should be able to deal with this trauma. Let's see how he does that.
Even with with Clark, but with New Earth Clark and Lois out of the picture, Damian would be the only thing carrying his IP via Super Sons. I could easily see that.
Well,
backfire.
no, you could have he hangs out with Scion.
But is that really the same?
No, it's not. But it would be a good no, because if John Kent is such a great character, give him this opportunity to elevate himself, because this is the potential. You could see him. This is a character defining moment. Or remember when it was the idea of Infinite Frontier that kind of teases where he becomes a dictator?
Yeah, but a story where John grows up and all of a sudden snaps, you might as well just be ripping off Injustice at that point.
I know.
But and Tevia, I did give you Kathy in that tie-in. That two-part tie-in. I did give you Kathy. Yeah, I did. I've been fair to you, Tevia.
Mm-hmm.
But I could definitely see this being a character-defining moment to where John actually gets some more depth. He has to deal with trauma. And to be fair, it's just John Kent becoming an Injustice Superman, that's pretty ironic because his Adventures of John Kent book is garbage.
Yeah.
So are we really adding anything to the mix?
No, but no, actually, it wouldn't be a bad idea, because then you would have he doesn't die or anything like that. He just gets put. Clark puts him in a cell in the fortress and says, "Until you cool off, you're staying in here."
So essentially, putting him in super timeout in the fortress.
Yes, and this would be our way of like shelving that character for right now.
To be fair, if it weren't for the age up, John wouldn't have fallen off.
True, but yeah.
So it might not even be necessary.
It might not. But I still think put him in the I still think make him at least go down that path until Clark takes him aside very kindly, puts him in the fortress and says, "You're staying here until you figure it out." John doesn't kill anyone. It's just New 52 Clark is like, no. Let's just deal with this.
Okay, let's think of it like this. His father dies against Thor. Lois sacrificed herself in an attempt to stop Barry and alleged mental breakdown in Sanctuary. Although he's not dragged into Earth 3 and gets tortured by Ultraman, he does experience a lot of trauma. And since he idolizes Damian so much, he's resorting to his tendencies when it comes to trauma or uphill situations. He's just repressing it instead of dealing with it in a healthy way. To even Damian's starting to notice, like, John, you can't just bottle this up. Eventually, you're going to snap. To where Damian has to be the compassionate one, even though we both know that's not his forte. And John would be more willing to listen to him. He sees what Damian's trying to say, but if this can bring his mom back, and mortals are much more adjacent compared to an alien like Clark, because let's be honest, the only reason Clark, New Scion was in Hades is because Apollo was being a dick. That's the only reason.
Yep, because it's Apollo. If you've read that version of Apollo, you know what I'm talking about.
Naturally. And no editorial mandate to make him Magneto. You're welcome, Tevia.
That's a good... This would be a great arc in the Super Sons book, Tevia.
It might be painful to get through, but depending on how we structure it, John might be better in the long run compared to when he started.
Now, put Tomasi on that book. Because he did great on... He did pretty good on that book when he wasn't guessing on Super Wonder. I have to say
so you wouldn't put Tomasi on Scion and Wonder Woman?
No. Tomasi would suggest it, and I'd say, in his face, I would go, hell no, you vindictive a-hole.
But come on, it's a rebranded character. It's not the main Superman, so there's no...
No. I do not want him on any form of Superman and Wonder Woman.
You don't want to
he destroyed it in the New 52. I have zero trust on him. Put him in Super Sons and say, that's your area. Stay there. And maybe Green Lantern.
And speaking of Green Lantern, would we say, okay, we've already teased around it enough. Scion and Wonder Woman do have a daughter named Hippolyta Kent, and we've already done a video on this. Somewhere between New Direction and Rebirth. I'm not going to give you the exact number, but by the time we get to Rebirth and beyond, she's at least 10 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And before I go any further, no, she does not have. Okay, she might have a crush on Damian, depending on where we go with this, but Damian's not going to reciprocate in any way.
No, we're not doing Wonder Bat.
Even though I could easily do so.
No. And by the way,
you'd be an acceptable Wonder Bat.
So
that's payback, Jared.
Have you already brought up about her getting a ring?
Wait, Damian and Hippolyta get married in the future? You walked right into that.
I hate you so much. She gets a Green Lantern ring, and the book title is Teen Lantern. Suck it. The Teen Lantern character does not exist because it's stupid that you can hack into the Owen energy thing.
To be fair, it was a wrecked gauntlet.
Still, you can't hack Owen technology.
Not gonna lie, that was stupid.
Same way of like a person inheriting the Green Lantern ring from their deceased person. That doesn't happen. There's an entire arc in the Jeff Johns run that establishes that doesn't happen.
Wait, didn't they do an Elseworld graphic novel where the same premise?
Elseworlds. That's the key word there.
True, I'll give you that. But that brilliant joke aside.
Thank you.
Yes, that brilliant joke.
You suck.
Hey, just be glad I'm not pulling up the song on command. Oh. You want to make this war, Jared? Bring it on.
I don't trust you. There are ways I can get you.
Bring it on. But okay, back to the main topic before Jared and I start having beef. Hippolyta Kent, okay, she's not Trinity by any means. So for those who read a lot of Marvel, she's not spunky. She's not obnoxious. She's just a typical preteen girl.
Mm-hmm.
Now, okay, I think Tevi is going to want to ask this the most. Would we pair John and Beacon?
Who's Beacon?
The blonde girl, Kathy. Let me screen share a picture of her.
I'm not gonna. Honestly, here's the thing. They're don't want to deal with the romantic escapades of children.
Same. I just know that Tevi was
going to ask
that question.
So no, the answer is no.
We're going to keep that purposely vague till they're at least teenagers or post-adolescent. We're going to keep that
post-adolescent.
Post-adolescent.
They'll be best friends for sure, but no.
Definitely. No, we are not setting that.
That's one of the creepiest parts of modern comics right about now.
And don't get me started on. Let's just say I had to stomach a lot of cringe to make this PowerPoint together. You're welcome. Excuse me. But
Kathy's technically an alien. Yeah, but John, it doesn't work.
Okay, Tevia. Let me give you a similar analogy. Jin is a 4,000-year-old genie who is betrayed and bound by her brother for the majority of human history. Damian, Robin, is a 13-year-old boy.
Yeah, we're not
Case
doing
in
that.
point.
Mate.
But I digress. Hippolyta is essentially mentored by Jessica Cruz when she gets her ring. And Amanda Waller is an ambassador of Earth to the Green Lanterns. So if you've seen our Green Lantern video...
No. Just the idea of Amanda Waller being an ambassador. Oh, no.
And if you want to see my marvelous Amanda Waller impression, be sure to check out that video.
If you thought his Constantine was good.
Oh man. But all right, who else haven't we talked about? We've gone through this whole thing and not brought up Justice League Dark once. We covered Outsiders, we covered Teen Titans.
That's one episode, honestly.
Really? We could really do a new Direction Justice League Dark.
Yes.
Yeah. And Etrigan. So what do we do? Even though 5G is cut, we still have roughly a year and a half gap where they were just crapping books out trying to make 5G work, or at least we shuffle it. We
But
still
here's
have a
the thing. We would have more of the talent still at DC because they wouldn't have been driven away.
That is true.
So there'd be less crap books, as a matter of fact.
Oh crap! Batman and Catwoman. I just brought this up like a while ago. After what happens with New Direction, with Siege of Fear, basically, Bruce and Selene. There's nothing interrupting the Batcat wedding.
Yeah,
So
the
there you go.
Batcat wedding happens, and Alfred does not die.
Again, without 5G, a lot is better.
Yeah, you should see. Bendis and 5G really screwed DC.
They're still recovering to this day. But funny fact, I actually do have a thumbnail made for what if 5G didn't
Oh
happen.
no, 5G point. The G point. I don't know.
Jared, that was terrible.
I'm trying to come up with a title because we had Bendis point.
Let's just call it what if 5G never existed, because wait. Retconception.
Oh, that's actually not bad. Thank you, Tavia. You gave us a title for the episode.
5G never happened. Sign me up. Oh wait. I just remembered. This is around the time All New, All Different. Most of New Direction and Rebirth takes place during All New, All Different Marvel.
Oh,
we're making freaking
we're gonna
bank.
screw with Marvel. Marvel would be we would essentially imagine Flash Thompson in the beginning of any Spider-Man movie. That's us, and essentially Marvel is pre-power Spider-Man. We are destroying them. We are going to eat Marvel's lunch. Marvel is screwing everything up. People don't like them. They're not helping the characters. And we're like, no, we're doing what everyone wants.
Though I will admit, I have thought about, if this were to be published, doing a variant cover with Thor where mythological accurate Thor just wailing on Marvel Thor just to screw with the Marvel.
Oh my gosh. No, you know what it would be? It would be like a bearded person that looks just like Thor, but is distinct enough that we don't get copyright infringement.
That is true.
But we know what it is. We know what it is.
We know what it is. But the actual mythology itself is public domain. So we could get away with it. We would just piss a lot of people off.
Oh, we would constantly screw with Marvel. It's like when there's a new team, we would have them go, oh, so it's like the all new, all different Justice League. And then someone would go, no, that's stupid.
Amanda Waller. I'll give you that, Daniel.
Nice, Daniel. I love that. It's like Batman being Wonder Woman's boyfriend. So awkward and stupid, but that's besides the point.
But to be fair, Waller does have big cojones.
Yes.
Wait, where can we go with this? Have we covered Suicide Squad? Because I briefly covered it on the.
That's an episode for that should get its own episode, but no, we haven't covered Suicide Squad.
Okay, so what creative teams do we have on these books?
Tom Taylor can be on Suicide Squad because he's good at playing characters that could easily be killed.
Okay. What about New Direction Green Lantern with Jessica
Jeff
Cruz?
Johns.
That, regardless of what was going on around this time, regardless of all the behind-the-scene baggage, you would still get Jeff Johns.
Because in this universe, we don't let him screw with the DCEU.
To be fair, that is the main reason Doomsday Clock got delayed, because he was working.
So there you go. Jeff Johns.
Would you
and
be
Ethan Van
opposed to
Sciver.
Ethan Van Sciver if this was possible?
Ethan Van Sciver? I will get. I will walk in. I will get him on a call and say, I will pay you whatever you need to. Please continue with Green Lantern.
Okay, so same guy in Action Comics before Bendis. I believe this was Tomasi and Gleason.
And then the person for Superman would probably be Grant Morrison because his Superman run was actually pretty dope. Doomsday Clock and Glade probably shouldn't have happened. Yeah, it shouldn't have happened, but that's besides the point. And Charles Sewell will be on the Superman and Wonder Woman book because he loves that pairing and wrote a good story for that.
Keep Abernett on Aquaman.
Abnett,
Even-
yes.
Even with Abernett on Abernett and a few co-creators.
Abnett.
Abnett, excuse me.
You are
Abnett,
mispronouncing people's names like crazy today.
Dan Jurgens, Abernett. Wait, Jessica Crew for Star Sapphire.
Because she was a Green Lantern at this point.
She was that, and the Star Sapphires are believed on love, envy, or any imbued or possessive emotion.
It works better for her character being one that grows up in fear to have to overcome that fear. That's why.
Now, if we were doing a plot line revolving around Carol Ferris, and a Starfire would work perfectly.
Dude, I got a good one. We need to do. Are you ready? New Direction, Black Adam.
Yes.
Black Adam.
How did we not think of this?
I know, because it would be like Black Adam, but like no Black Adam versus mythological accurate Thor.
Wait, wouldn't that just be a tie-in one shot?
Yes, it would be. He would be the only one who, like, no, what he would do is he would punch Thor. Thor would get a bloody lip, and then a Black Adam would go, I made God bleed.
Impressive. And now you'll be the last to stand against me.
Yeah.
And then
it's a short thing, but I just want to have Black Adam say, I've made a God bleed.
And to be fair, since he is a god of thunder, he can siphon the powers of the wizard and depower Tef Adam or any of the Shazam family at any time.
Yeah.
The only reason Billy Batson was beaten to a pulp is because any other scenario he would have died.
Yes, exactly.
It's only when he finds out Billy's a kid does he stop wailing on him.
Yeah.
I wasted my time on a child. Odin's beard. But I know I made the slide, but yeah, we do need to wrap this up. But I know I made the slide, but in one of the tie-ins, well, at least the two we mainly did in the PowerPoint, Atreus, Damian, John, and his allies pretty much taking on Jormungandr. You remember who Jormungandr is, right?
No.
Jormungandr is the world serpent.
Because remember, I've never played God of War.
Okay, basically it's that Jormungandr is a giant snake and happens to be one of the children of Loki.
Okay.
So imagine Goliath fighting a giant snake for like 5 to 10 pages. But yeah, we do need to wrap this up. But so before we go, hey, let us know, like, comment, subscribe to what you guys think. And please feel free to just type in what other ideas you would prefer. And yes, God of War is awesome. But again, God Killer would only be possible because of licensing agreements. So because we can't risk getting copyright. So I can only see 3 cohesive storylines with God Killer, because after Ragnarok, there's just no guarantee no guarantee. Just have him be strictly an event character and don't. Yeah, fought the giant snake, fought for it to a standstill. Would Jormungandr play a role in the main event and not just be a tie-in villain? Remains to be seen. But before we go, gentlemen, let us know where can people reach you and where can they find you, what you got coming up on the channel.
All right, so I've got tomorrow is coming out as a video outlining that the channel got monetized, is eligible for monetization. So I want to talk about what that's going to be for later on in the future. I have a bunch of collabs coming out this week. It's gonna be packed. A few of them were like Dawson, who is my artist, and we're gonna talk about Snyderverse stuff probably. On the week next Sunday, Nicotina could be coming on. I got Josh Herrera. I got a lot of collabs coming out this week. And then in terms of Under Two Capes, we're going to be talking about the best DC animated projects. That'll be probably a 4-person discussion or 5-person if Sammy wants to show up.
DCAU
And obviously
all day, baby.
And then I have I have the Avatar rewatch with Nick and the Justice League rewatch on my channel also with Nick. And then I have the Superman, the My Adventures with Superman episode 2 reaction with Taladia.
Yes.
And whatever New Direction verse stuff Jay Heat wants me to do.
Taladia, what you got coming up on the channel? Oh, and sorry, I hate to cut you off, Taladia. To answer Daniel, to answer your question, it's mostly due to licensing because Sony owns the exclusive rights to the God of War franchise. And even though this is strictly comics, you still have to have some kind of to ensure Sony gets a cut in some capacity. So unless Sony completely, will make Kratos part of DC, unless they make an exclusive deal or contract, you have to resort to licensing deals. It's no different than with a TV show. It's just you don't have to pay as much. I just wanted to go ahead and answer that right quick. But who knows? Maybe if God of War continues to be successful, or if DC starts running out of ideas, maybe they can actually implement Kratos for a quick buck. Who knows? I know we would have done it a long time ago. Sorry, Taladia, go ahead.
No, so on my channel, I've got My Adventures with Superman coming up on Monday. I don't know what time, but we'll figure it out. And then Thursday, I've got the episode 3 live reaction for the same show. I've also got some videos in the works for Marvel Spider-Man 2 because San Diego Comic-Con is happening. So any news or topics that we get, or any news that we get for Marvel Spider-Man 2, I'll be sure to post it as a video. And what else is there? There's also the collab on the Into the Multiverse podcast that myself, Jared, and Jay Heat will do next week, and we'll be talking about Superman Legacy. So, and there's a very interesting topic for that, so you want to stay tuned for that on the Twitch page.
As for myself, I know I'm pretty much playing catch up, but the SWTOR playthroughs are coming back. I just need to go through editing, but the SWTOR playthroughs are coming back, and I'm going to start with Sith Warrior. I'm not gonna wait till the next rotation. I'm just gonna go back to Sith Warrior wherever I am, and then just go back from there. I'm just starting a new rotation. As for other projects, well, the Wasted Potential videos, Snyderverse, I've been touching up my script, but that will be coming out in the next few days. And hopefully, if I don't have work conflicts, I will be for Under Two Capes and the Superman Legacy breakdown. Oh, and before we go, and Nick's probably has more information on this than I do, but I believe someone on Twitter, the handler Mari, thank you. God, I'm mispronouncing a lot today. She was pretty much harassed, and it got to a breaking point on Twitter. If you were someone you know is being bullied or harassed or ridiculed on social media, the first thing to do is to support them and tell them that they're not alone. Also, it's healthy to get off the computer every once in a while. Don't have your life fully revolve around Twitter. And thoughts and prayers to Mari and their family, and until we know more about the situation. You guys play SWTOR? I have Wonder Woman.
No.
Oh yeah, he made a Wonder Woman character, and that's so cool.
So with that being said, everyone, there's only one more thing left to do before we leave. Super. Wonderbat.
You guys suck.
Wonderbat. The shit that makes Jared cringe.
Hey, at least I'm not. At least I don't use a universe for an example that had Batman and Batgirl.
Or Batman and Nightwing.
Hey, you guys should talk now. You guys.
Taladia goes for the jugular.
Wait. Taladia, you supported Super Wonder earlier in the stream with your Freudian slip. And Jay Heat, do I need to remind you used the word Rick Grayson earlier in the stream?
To be fair, I am planning a Rick Grayson retrospective, so that is relevant.
No. You weren't talking about that Rick Grayson during this.
No, but
show.
to be fair, in the context, I said that I wasn't in support for Super Wonder. I said that because it was part of the show. So,
but you still Freudian slip.
We said it's a Freudian slip, but it's still relevant to what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And the only reason I would have remotely said it was to avoid bot for using a certain derogative term.
Mm-hmm.
Jared, your rebuttal?
No comment.
And with that being said, like, comment, subscribe, everybody. Thank you for tuning in, and flame off. Whoa!